So Kai Jones is throwing strays. I could have done a lot of videos today. The season is close enough to the point where I could start doing like predictions and recaps. But honestly, I was more surprised about the fact that in the news today came out that Hornets player Kai Jones, a guy who has averaged 3 points per game for his career, has been talking really crazily on social media. And I wanted to break that down, see what you guys thought, and see what he's been saying. Some of the things he was saying were really weird, and honestly, it just seems bizarre what he's doing. I'm going to read a few of these. I'm going to start from September 14th, where we can see that he just, like, Kyle Jones is obviously active on Twitter, but he said, "I'm more than a hornet. I go live, so sleep peacefully, not needing to check Twitter. That's deep, huh?" Then keep going, and then he said, "Bro, I hit midi better than Mike. What do you mean?" Which basically is like I hit the mid range jump shot. Like I hit more mid rangers and I hit them better than Michael Jordan. They talked to him about the Hornets and he responded, "I've had a higher field goal percentage than those guys since I came out of the womb, and none of them can guard me. So know your ball before you talk in here, mother effer." Now he said that to a fan who said, "Will you at least admit LaMelo and Brandon Miller better than you? Like you're midway through the roster, 50% of the Hornets are better than you." And that's what he said. And it seems like he's been going on this little Twitter outrage. I don't know if he was fame. I don't know if he's just like, he feels really excited about coming back next season. But he like, this is weird. Like, for a lot of guys who are not good enough, this will get you kicked off the team. And this will get you out of the, rotations. Because this is weird. Like, Kai Jones is a valuable young player. We do have to say that. He's young enough, he's got a good build, and he looks like he could get expanded on by a good team. But in the Hornets, when you think you're the GOAT and you think that you're the best of all time, it's kind of weird. So Kai Jones kept going about all of this. He kept talking about all these things. And it was like, when are you going to shut up? Or when are you going to stop? Then they kept texting him like, "Kai, my brother, you averaged 3 points, question mark." And he said, "Listen, man, that's in the past. This new version of me is MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in here over and over." Again, ridiculous confidence for a guy who has done absolutely nothing in his career. A guy who has been just a shadow of a player. And that guy who has proven nothing. And now he's saying that from one year to the other, he's becoming an MVP Defensive Player of the Year type player. They told him like, "Yo, you're not beating prime Shaq though," which means prime Shaquille O'Neal. And he said, "I'm Cook Prime Diesel in here," which is weird because Kai Jones is like 6'7" maybe, and Shaq was 7'1", 300 pounds. And if centers couldn't even stop Shaq, I don't understand why Kai Jones, out of all people, is saying like, "Oh, I could be the one to stop Shaq." They said, there was a meme about him, and he said, "Everything infinite around here, I don't know what you're talking about." It was a meme talking about his private parts. And I don't know what's happening, I don't understand. Like, I understand confidence. And NBA players, to be an NBA player, takes a certain level of confidence and belief in yourself, which a lot of people don't have. But, like, this level of confidence when you haven't proved, achieved, or done anything. And it's so random, too. Like, if Michael Jordan came into social media and said, "I can cook all of you guys in my prime, and you guys are not better than me. I'm so good, like in my prime, I was the best," then at that point, even though it's arrogant and even though it is, boasting, there's nothing you can say about that. Like, the most you could argue is maybe LeBron, right? And maybe some other players from time to time, but like, let's be honest, who in the right minds has been better than Michael Jordan? Not Kai Jones. Like, this kid, he's a kid. He's been in the NBA for almost, I think, 3 years now, 2 years now. And he wants to come in here talk about that he would beat Prime Shaq, right? And saying stupid things about his private parts. Then he said, I am the one. Some dude responded, real talk, you could beat Steph in a shootout. And Kai said, I was harder than Steph since high school. That makes no sense, but I'm not going to try to explain that, you know. Then he said, there's never been anyone harder than me. I'm not too afraid to admit I was never wrong. I was wrong about myself in the past. I know him for real, right? And then he kept basically going, posting. He posted a picture of an edit with him and the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. You know, he said, my people were never right about me, which I don't know what that means, you know. And then they asked him under a post, like, do you think you could be Prime Jordan? And he said, 100%. And it's like, in my opinion, what are we doing? You're an NBA player, bench warmer, who's now talking crazy on Twitter about that you could beat Prime Jordan. When you against an era which has the highest scoring since the 60s can't get enough points in the basket. He said Midi got 23, and then he said Tree got 23, like 3 got from 3. And he kept going. Like he said, harder than Cardi, I'm getting the Barbies. He said, more ripped than a Urus. He said, I've been perfect all my life, with a heart emoji. And he's just been on a rampage of, it's like, what is this kid doing? What caused him to do this? Maybe he's been training during the summer, you know, and I said this earlier, but like, normally when guys go through the summer and they learn and they get better, it causes them to be worse. But like, this dude comes, talks trash on social media, and he's the worst. He's one of the worst players in the NBA. He's insignificant too. And yeah, I understand believing in yourself, but man, you're in the NBA. I would at least try to keep that job without trying to get kicked off for insulting your teammates. Right? He said, I am the GOAT and I came to float. I don't know. Then he started, you know, kind of putting a rhyme there. He did rhyme it, but like, I don't understand. Where does this come from? Right? He said, and like he said that he made songs, and then he said, I'm bigger than Michael Jackson these days, the way I'm feeling, man. And then he put a bunch of emojis. I want you to think that most of these are just with like 7 different emojis next to them. And he's going crazy. Now, what I really want to talk about is that as an organization, does it ever scare you when players do this? Like, there's been a lot of cases in the media where players start talking crazy about their organization, about what they think, and they start expressing what they actually believe. But with this Kai Jones situation, I believe it's really concerning that this kid from one day to the other just starts saying, I can cook my own teammates, I'm better than the 2-star players on my team, and I can beat Michael Jordan, and I feel like Michael Jackson. But like, why is this happening? Why are these the news that we have to resort to? Why is this news, right? It's like, you shouldn't be saying that. Prove it on the court. And if you're going to prove it, then you can start trash talking. And I don't think this dudes understand that, right? It's like, you're great. You've made it to the NBA. You're a top 1% basketball player in the world. But you need to chill, bro. Because if he keeps going like this, he could get cut from his team. Like, chemistry has a lot to do, and antics have a lot to do with how a player, you know, stays on a team or not. But this might affect his future. Well, tell me what you think, tell me what you like, tell me what you hate, tell me what you think about this Kai Jones situation. and I'll see you in the next video.